Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish pregame for your game against the Stanford Cardinal. Now, let's compare offenses. Last week, Stanford looked pretty bleak, honestly, at times. KJ Costello is a decent quarterback, but at the same time, he does tend to make mistakes. Bryce Love has not had a whole lot of experience this week with practice. He hardly played last week, honestly, except for maybe 3-4 times in the game. He didn't really accomplish a whole lot of yards. Frankly, they should have lost to Oregon. They were trailing for the majority of the whole entire game. This is an offense that I think is not very solid. It's up and down. So I don't think that the Stanford Cardinal are going to come into Notre Dame tonight, and score 40 points. There's no way. There is absolutely no way that is going to happen against Notre Dame's defense. We are ranked in the top 10 in defensive takeaways. We have a wonderful defensive head coach. The defense has shown up this year. We have beat solid, decent opponents, including Michigan, which Michigan was supposed to have this high-powered offense, and that did not happen in the first game. So if we can keep Stanford from running the ball, then we will obviously have a wonderful opportunity to defeat the Cardinal. So I believe that the Irish will beat Stanford tonight, and it will be 31-24, the final score for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. I think that as long as the Irish continue to run the ball, get off on a great start, pick up the offense, complete solid passes downfield, run it with Jafar Armstrong and the other running backs. We have great receivers. We can beat the Cardinal. I believe that we can do this. I don't think that this team is as good as everybody is saying. Yes, they're a Pac-12 team, but I don't think that they're as good as, let's say, like a Washington, for example, or even Oregon, in my opinion. Oregon should have won that game last week. So I am picking the Irish to win 31-24 in a close one, and I am guaranteeing that our offense is going to pick it up, and we're going to score at least 24 points by halftime. I do not think Stanford has a very good defense. They're an average defense. They've not shown to me in any form of way that they can pick up blitzes correctly. And I've seen by last week that they played no man-to-man very well in their defensive scheme. They left Oregon wide open on several occasions during that game last week. I believe fully that the Irish will take advantage of that going downfield. And I would not be surprised if Winbush does not come in for 3 or 4 times during the game to really open up the offense in the red zone. I would do that if I was Kelly, because I think that the Irish have a wonderful opportunity here. You have 2 solid quarterbacks, Ian Book and Brandon Winbush. You have a wonderful running back scheme. You can throw some trick plays in there on Stanford. You can show that you own the line and you can move the ball. To me, Bryce Love has had no solid experience this season of running the football. So I am not concerned with him at all. Yes, he might get, 50 or 60 yards possibly in the game, but he's shown to me last week that he's not the same player that he was last week. Stanford is a very overrated offense. People like to hype them up because of the conference that they're in, saying that they're going to win the conference this year. I don't know. It might happen. It might not happen. You have to understand there's other teams that are in that conference that are just as good. So let's not get into this whole nonsense of Stanford is the best team in that division or that conference, because I don't believe that one bit. I think Oregon should have won last week. Stanford got lucky, and I think that Notre Dame is going to shut this whole thing up tonight, prove a point that we can beat Stanford and get back on our winning ways. I think that we have a great ranking right now at number 8. I think if we can defeat Stanford tonight, the rest of the games on the schedule, we have an opportunity to win every single one of them. I don't see any opponent on the schedule that is going to give us any issues. I mean, Syracuse today played a wonderful game against Clemson, and they almost beat them. So that could be an interesting matchup down the road. Navy could be an interesting matchup down the road. I mean, Northwestern, not so much. They're kind of an average team. Well, Virginia Tech, an average team. They're not really that good. We can obviously win these games if we play our game. Running the ball, great defense, taking the ball away from the other team, which we have proven that we can play this type of defense. I always love this matchup for Notre Dame every year because Stanford always talks a lot of crap, but honestly, the last few years we've competed very well with them. And I think that this is our year. We can easily beat this team if we play the right way. No turnovers, no fumbles, run it down their throat, and prove a point that we are the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and we can beat this Stanford team. So whether it's Winbush, Ian Book, whoever's playing running back, we have a solid offense. I have nothing to be concerned about. We can run the ball, we can throw the ball, we can score points. We have a great field goal kicker and a great punter. All around, solid people. I have no concerns about scoring points. We can do what we need to do. So, final score, Notre Dame 31, Stanford 24. That's what I'm saying. Welcome to Drizzleland. Welcome to the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame pre-game show with your host Drizzle. So let's go Irish. Let's beat the Cardinal of Stanford and prove a point that you're not going to come into our stadium and blow us out. Not going to happen. Go Irish.